Welcome to another edition of Reaching Out. I'm Gregory Floyd, President Local 237 Teamsters. With us, we have a very special guest. We have Hazel Dukes, President of the NAACP New York chapter. And in recent, I'm going to say, Hazel Dukes is an icon in our community. And I'm going to say that. And I'm going to thank her for her work that she's done over the years. And she has helped out the membership of Local 237 because she loaned her voice to the women of school safety in our lawsuit. She was there, she was vigilant, and she stood shoulder to shoulder with us. And we want to publicly thank her for that. And we want our members to remember what Hazel Dukes has done for us. Thank you for coming to Reaching Out, Hazel.
Well, thank you, President Floyd. And it was just not the school workers. It's all of the workers that you represent in our communities that they serve. And for you, I have found you to be one of among the leaders with integrity. You put your people first. That's been your professional ability to bring issues to our elected officials and to our community concerning the great workers that you represent, and for them to be respected and receive wages, living wages, because they do the work that is so much needed. So I'm always there for you, just to cause a phone call away.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Now, we were drawn to you for a topic because we read in the recent Amsterdam News article, you noted that 34 states around the country have reacted to the loss of the Republican-controlled Congress and White House and losing the White House by trying to suppress minority voting and imposing limits on voting hours and voter ID requirements. You went on to write that closer to home, voter suppression is happening right here in New York. You point out that new ranked choice voting, which a lot of people don't understand, as a prime device to suppress and disenfranchise certain voters, quoting the findings of recent poll by WPIX News and Emerson College, which found that 46% of Black voters and 36% of Latino voters had not heard anything about ranked choice voting. So why and how does ranked choice voting impact minority communities? And by the way, I agree with you. I was against ranked choice voting from the beginning, and I knew what this would bring, and
Yes.
This is coming to fruition.
Absolutely. Let me just say, President Floyd, I raised my voice, couldn't get any support until it was done. Then I got the Black and Puerto Rican and Asian caucus to really look at it. And when they did, they said, oh my God, look what is happening to us. And then some people tried to bring a lawsuit. I spoke to great lawyers, and they said to me, President Dukes, you will throw your money away. It's done. This past Saturday, we had caravans, the NAACP in all 5 boroughs. We have material. I was in Queens, in your county. Yes. People not understand ranked choice voting. First of all, they don't know it's a primary. I understand from people who are doing phone calls, we have not started phone banks yet. We just got a grant, $20,000. So I spent all of that taking ads in our local African-American papers. They did not do a good job. It's been 30 years since Dave Dinkins was elected. Everybody see the demographics of this city. Blacks, Latinos, Asians, and women can win an election if there is a fair and comprehensive election. I understand from people who've been making phone banks, people say, what? It's an election in June? We never voted in June. Then they said, they tell them about, well, you know, you shouldn't just choose one candidate. You ought to choose uh, at least 3 to 5, they said, what? I don't know them. I don't even like them. So you telling me I can't vote for somebody I know? They have to say, yes, you can, but vote for somebody you don't really know, but you might have heard about them. And so this campaign finance reform, all this reform stuff, I know we have to move from yesterday to today, but you do it by educating people. This is a sham. They did not do proper education. I read yesterday in the paper that the machines are not ready. We won't know until July. I mean, how insulting. That's turning people off. That you're telling people they're going out to vote, but they won't know who won the election. And you think people are going to participate in the general election after you turn them off in a primary that they don't know anything about anyway, and telling them at least vote for 3 or 5 people? I think that this is a telling story for New York City. And if this turn out where they're going to have lawsuits upon lawsuits, let's see what these people are going to do who did this. Now, I understand there was 3 African Americans on that commission, but when people have spoken to them, they didn't know what they voted for. And most of the people who voted in ranked choice voting on that ballot was not people from our communities, because we don't turn over ballots. we just go with the person we know or the person we like, mark that and get on out of the voting booth, out of our election places. So to me, we look at Georgia and we screaming and talking about Georgia and Texas and all this, but we need to look at New York State. We finally got absentee ballot. We finally got early voting, but this ranked choice voting is throwing everything that we have worked so hard for to get us up to date, especially African-American, Latino, and poor communities in this city. And this is such, I don't have to tell you, you are on the pension board. I mean, this is a serious election. Yes, Biden and Harris was a serious election, the federal, but this is the policies set for our life. Sanitation picked up. My children going back to school. Is there going to be safety? Our children already behind. My children didn't have all of the devices they needed. They didn't have internet. They couldn't even hook up the devices. And so now I'm going to have to elect a mayor of the city of New York, where I fought for the mayor to have control of the school budget because our school boards were not operating properly. And the controller, pension, I'm a retiree. I want somebody to know how to count.
Yes, I agree with you.
About it. You have retirees, and I've heard them applaud you for how you work hard on the pension board, making sure that our money is not just squandered away, that is there for the retirees, is there for those persons who have given so much of their life to this city. So this is an important election. So I'm out here now trying to get people to participate, even with them being frustrated and don't know what to do. So I asked all of us to join. This week again, I will have in our African-American papers a ballot, but it's confusing because we have district attorneys. They are not in ranked choice voting. We have judges, which is not in ranked choice voting. How crazy is that?
Yeah, how about the city council?
Our people turn on go to a second page.
How about the city council? Are they in second place, ranked choice voting?
The mayor, city council, public advocate, and controller is all on one sheet, on the front sheet of the ballot. But when you go to your district and your borough presidents, But when you go to your district attorneys and you go to your judges, they are on another sheet. And yesterday, it was absolutely absurd to hear about the city and the state election people don't know how they're going to count up all of this before the middle of July.
Yeah, we've created some mess, and
Yes,
mainly because we were asleep.
absolutely.
We were asleep, and you know, elected officials, I would say, all of us, we were asleep. But yeah, I didn't know what this ranked choice voting would bring about. I was against it, and it passed. And I knew
I would
once the
expect you
election,
to guess it like me.
I was against it from the beginning.
Right,
Someone sat me down and explained to me exactly what this would mean,
right.
and exactly what you're saying is what it means. But you know, if we can in the future, we should try to overturn this by putting it back on the ballot but we need a commission, then you have to be in control, put it back on the ballot to go back to the other way.
Well,
Because
that's what they said yesterday. The lawyers that I spoke to, they said, you know, that they didn't want me to throw money away now. Let's let this roll. And I think it's going to be I think the candidates going to sue. I think that general public people are going to sue on this because it's disenfranchising.
yeah, and then the only remedy is to go back to the way it was.
Ab-
Winner take all. No ranked choice voting, no counting, no points awarded, nothing like that. Somebody dropping off and then those votes going to that person because the person didn't vote for that person.
Absolutely.
This is very confusing, and this is just you're right. Voter suppression.
It's not democratic. Okay,
right.
We had a primary in the general election that we had 5 to 10 people. They went out, they worked hard, and we came up with a president, and he selected his vice president. And that's what it should be here. We should have had mayors. If they wanted 15 people to compete, but each one stand on their own merit. You want a controller, 12 people, 10 people, go out and compete.
And, you know, this is not just something that just happened today. There was a plan that has at least been enacted, and there was some council people elected, and you hear them, the loudest voices with defund the police, get policing out of schools. They're the same people who brought about this. They're the same ones with the bike lanes.
Absolutely.
The same ones with every liberal policy. They come and they preach liberalism, but they are against our community, and we have to understand
thank you for saying that. Thank you. I'm the only one saying I'm progressive, but I know how to negotiate and sit down. These people who are bringing these things before us is not about our community, not about our community. Running Amazon out for jobs for our people.
25,000 jobs and before the pandemic, and they're working, and they're going to say, we don't want those jobs to come here.
Right. Absolutely.
We want those jobs to come here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, and the press have made them the spokespersons for our community. We got to regroup. Right. We got to regroup. The civil rights and the labor union and people of goodwill got to regroup in this city and get some sanity here.
That's
so
right.
We all can live and survive.
Because like Congressman Clyburn said, we are not for defunding the police department. We're for reforming it, not defunding it.
Absolutely. I have never, the NAACP have never said defund the police. We are talking about accountability. We fought hard for 58. That means if you got a bad record, you should not stay on the force. And if you break the law, you're not above the law, you should get your punishment.
Right, right.
That's what we are saying. We're saying accountability.
Yes.
Everybody, just like everybody shouldn't be a teacher, everybody can't be a doctor, everybody can't be a policeman, and everybody can't be a lawyer. It takes different kind of mindset and skills to perform those duties.
And on our ballots, this upcoming election season, crime is on the ballot,
Absolutely.
not defunding the police. Like
Right.
some would have us think. Crime is on the ballot.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the crime in our communities have gone up and the police response is going down because the police are afraid to come in because they don't want to be accused of harassment. They're being
Absolutely.
attacked. Their cars are being attacked.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we have created a society in the last year, and the George Floyd movement, no relations to Gregory Floyd, has been hijacked by those who have their own agenda. And it saddens me to see that man's name used the wrong way. His family is not for defunding police. They're for reforming the police. And
Absolutely.
we are not for defunding police.
I join you wholeheartedly. Never have I said that as a civil rights leader to defund the police. I've said reforming, accountability. Let's look at this with clear eyes, with vision and thought for all. I have many friends whose sons and daughters are in the police department. I want them to be safe. I want them to go home and rear their family and have a life. But I also want our young Black men, especially, to be able to walk down the street and feel that they are secure too in their neighborhood. And I'm not popular, but I want us to stop killing each other also.
Well, I mean, that's a popular statement with me. It's popular with me. We go back to years of creating crime and doing harm to ourselves. In our school system, the children are hurting and killing each other. It saddens me. You don't have to worry about somebody else doing something to you when you're doing it to yourself.
Absolutely.
So more than worrying about police officers, we should worry about ourselves. And once we take care of ourselves, then we can worry about everybody else.
Absolutely.
This is Reaching Out. I'm Gregory Floyd, President Local 237 Teamsters. With us, our very special guest is Hazel Dukes. And we started off talking about ranked choice voting, and now we're talking about the community and what's going on and what we think is wrong with our community. And, you know, I look, there's a parade coming up, the Pride Parade.
Yes.
I said, what in the world are we saying that we don't want police around us and we don't want police marching? Some police officers are part of that community. Do
Absolutely.
you think that they're going to abuse people? I'm like, where have we gotten in this society where we're going to exclude a group of police officers from a parade? I said, wow, is that where we've gone? We've gone that far? And you want the police to move back. So if there's an emergency, if somebody faints, if somebody has a heart attack or something, you have to wait that much longer to get the emergency services to that parade through a crowd, the confusion. And I'm making the prediction, if there's a incident that happens, the investigation will be the police were too far away to respond if this goes into effect. I mean, we have to really think. We can't hurt ourselves by trying to hurt somebody else.
That's why I believe that we must come together. I long for my buddy, my dear friend, Bill Lynch, who would by now have called people together and say to us, let's reason together. I said this yesterday with Reverend Sharpton and ministers at his place. I said, it is time for us to come together and reason together. Elected officials, clergy, labor unions, we got to come back the way that Martin Luther King pulled the people together. Everybody's not going to agree on every issue, but there have to be a clear vision of how we want to survive in this society. We know that there are strikes against us. Nobody would deny that racism is not real, but we can overcome some of those things if we have a clear vision of how we want to behave, how we want to position ourselves in the broader community, and let our voices be heard. How do we get to the table where decisions are being made?
Well, I think you just have the answer. You have a tremendous community of clergy in Harlem, which I think that's where we should start. They could convene the meeting. I will certainly come up. You have Reverend Butts and some of the other ministers. I will certainly come up and lend my voice. And I'm sure Kyle Bragg will come
Oh,
along with me.
oh, absolutely.
And
Yes.
we will come up to Harlem, and we will sit down, and we get some political strategists in the room and map out a strategy, one to overturn the work toward the future so we could get rid of the ranked choice voting, but only
Absolutely.
after people see the ranked choice voting is a disaster. And
Absolutely.
those who put
It's
it in
going
place,
right.
yeah,
And
and those
we
who
got
put it in place will
about,
say, well, it's the first time. Well, I know when something's the first time, you got to make sure it's right, because people distrust what's not right.
and
And
this was
then,
not right. It was
yeah,
not right. They did not do what they said they was going to do. They were going to educate our community. I know that COVID-19 stopped us from gathering, but it should have been more of a newspaper, more TV ads. They had the money. So they said the city was going to give money for ranked choice voting to the campaign finance for them to educate people. Now, I've been on Zoom call. People are zoomed out. They're turned out. But this was too important just for Zoom.
yes, yes,
We needed more education
we
and
needed a
more.
television broadcast for this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
We needed this talked about every day, every hour almost. And now they're trying to ram it down people's throat, and people are turned off because they don't understand it.
We have 3 minutes. In 3
Yeah.
minutes, try to explain for those who are listening what ranked choice voting is, what we know about it.
Well, what we know about it, and we have the NAACP, we have palm cards, we have door knockers that we're putting out. First of all, if you vote for one candidate and that candidate is not in the ranking, it can be your favorite candidate. Sure, vote for your first candidate in the ballot. The ballot have, and you can't mark an X, by the way, in this ballot. You must do it in the circle. You must, there's a circle, and that you have to mark in the circle. You're not making an X on this ballot, okay? So you must darken the circuit that you have. So you can do 1, you can do up to 5, but that's for the mayor, controller, public advocate, and in your local councilmatic districts. Here in my district, I'm in District 9. I have 15 candidates. Okay, I don't know about you, what you have in where you live in Queens. I know you got a lot of people running in Queens. For borough president, I have, I think I have 6 borough presidents running for the Manhattan. In DA, which is very important, I have 5 candidates for the DA. Now, DA is not in ranked choice voting. You only vote for one person in a DA race. But for borough president, for your city council, your district, I'm in District 9. As I said, I have 15 candidates, okay? I can take my first choice, my second choice, my third choice, my fourth choice, and my 5th choice. Most people don't have that. Most people don't have one person in their mind. And when you do that, you really almost is denying that person who is your first choice a chance. Because the other people are going to be ranked. And if your person, your first choice don't have enough, they lose, and somebody you don't even know can move up. So you need to participate in your first choice, your second choice, at least a third choice. Now, most people are saying vote for 5 people. But as our people are saying, I was on the streets, people say, I don't even know these people. What am I talking about? They're not sitting down reading the New York Times to talk about everybody's bio and what they've done. They're not reading that stuff. So they're getting a ballot with all these names on it, and they only know one person. So that's the only person they're gonna vote for. And that's a mistake. That's a mistake. You ought to at least vote for 3 persons, at least 3 persons. Right, to make sure that your first choice have a chance to stay in the ranking.
Okay.
That's for the mayor, for the controller, for your city council people, and for the public advocate. Now, how many people you have running in your district, your councilmatic district?
There are a whole lot I can't even remember. But
Right.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this segment. But we really thank you, Hazel Dukes, President of the New York State NAACP, for coming on and sharing with us your views on ranked choice voting and what the upcoming election. I'm Gregory Floyd, President, Local 237 Teamsters, and you've been listening to Reaching Out. Thank you.
We'll be together in person soon.
We will. Yes,
Okay.
we will.
Thank you so much.
Did you get your vaccination?
Oh, both of them.
Oh, good.
I got mine in March.
Me too.
You know, I was on the thing, roll up your sleeve and take it. I didn't believe all that other nonsense.
Oh, no.
I
Look.
worked with Reverend Butts and the ministers. We got Abyssinian Church, where we had at Harlem Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So we did well. We got a lot of pop-up centers here, right, in our churches and in our communities.
Yeah, the alternative was death.
So it was death.
Chances with
yes, it was. That's what I told people. I don't know anybody who died from taking the vaccine, but I know too many people who died who didn't have a chance to take it.
That's right.
See you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Be well.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Alex? Alex?
I don't know where you went.
Alex?
Greg, what do you need?
Alex?
I'll call him on the phone maybe.
I just want to make sure we're good.
Yeah, well,
Okay, I guess
All
we
right.
are. Okay,
well, I guess we are is right. All right, I'll catch you later. We're gonna get the recording as well, the visual.
Phyllis, can you hear me? Oh, no.
Hello.
Hey, Phyllis, it's Alex. That was great. My Zoom was muted though, so I couldn't say goodbye. But I want to just